including anything with their school or memory or continuous headaches.
For concussion treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com. Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Baseball, the New York Yankees leading the Milwaukee Brewers 4-1 in the bottom of the eighth inning. Washington Nationals starting pitcher Mackenzie Gore struck out 13 Philadelphia Phillies through 6 innings, allowing just 1 hit. Nationals then took him out after 93 pitches, leading 1-0. And then Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber both hit home runs against the Nationals bullpen. So the Phillies lead it 2-1 at Washington in the top of the eighth inning. Juan Soto singled to right, walked, and then flied to left in his Mets debut. But right now, they trail at Houston 3-0 in the bottom half of the sixth inning. The Baltimore Orioles have a 9-2 lead at Toronto in the top of the eighth. Baltimore's Tyler O'Neill, a 3-run home run. It's the 6th straight season he's homered on opening day. Cedric Mullins of the Orioles, 2 home runs and 5 RBI. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, here we go. It is Thursday on the Nate Brown Show. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Welcome in. Beautiful day across South Dakota, but it is always a great day in South Dakota. We know that. Here we are, ready to go. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for making this show possible and joining in each day. We appreciate it. Your afternoon drive ready to go. You can stream us right now on X. We are up and ready, unlike the Twins game early on, but we are up and ready. Technical difficulties sometimes on this streaming thing, but not today. The Nate Brown Show is on Twitter right now. Watch us live. Welcome you in at Nate Brown Show. If you follow the show, you've got us live right there at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us on X on your phone. And one more play, the YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show. Bring us up right there. Subscribe to the channel. Get us over 200 subscribers today. Hit us up. We got to be cooler than 200 subscribers. Hit us up there, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. You've got us there. Thursday edition of the program looks great. You know what's ready tonight? Happy Hour with Rob Kegron live in studio. A lot to get to with Rob, the New York City native, the famous radio guy. He's been a national radio host, and we get him every Thursday on the Nate Brown Show as our guest host. So Happy Hour with Rob Kegron. You know I'm going to be talking Giants, Russell Wilson, and a lot more. So hang tight. A busy show. Let's get to it. There's a lot to cover today, from basketball in South Dakota to opening day, Major League Baseball, a lot to get to, and we'll get you on as well. But first, the Forever Lawn guest lineup, brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota. What is this company that's the best lineup of artificial grass? If you haven't seen this stuff, so good these days. The technology, the environmentally friendly, the no-maintenance grass. You can put it at your house, landscape grass, golf greens in the backyard. This stuff's really cool. Canine grass for the dogs, specifically designed for dogs. Sports grass, turf fields, top of the line for games. It is Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Just Google them, find out more, take a look at their lineup. Forever Lawn in South Dakota, ready to install across the entire state. And the Forever Lawn guest lineup on the Nate Brown Show looks like this. Scott Pianowski's back on tonight. National Major League Baseball writer, YahooSports.com. We'll get Scott's take on the 2025 season underway today. Major League Baseball writer, Yahoo Sports, Scott Pianowski coming up. We'll go to Dakota News Now sports anchor Zach Borg on tonight. A lot of South Dakota stuff popping today. We'll get to Zach Borg, his take along the way. Dakota News Now sports anchor Borg's in tonight. Thor Nystrom's on from the Twin Cities. NFL draft analyst Thor Nystrom, he has been right on the J.J. McCarthy stuff from the start. You got to give Thor some love. We get him on the show a lot. He's been sticking to this, and national media saying this and that. Thor Nystrom said the plan has always been J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. Is he going to hold again today? Is that the plan for sure? After hearing from Kwesi Adofo-Mensah yesterday, Thor Nystrom's in from the Twin Cities, NFL draft analyst, Fantasy Life, and Score North from Minneapolis. That's straight ahead. Hang tight for the second hour. We'll shoot it around with Rob Kegron, our guest host, live in studio. Happy hour coming up with Rob. The Nate Brown Show inviting you on tonight. 605-720-1067. That's the number. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Call us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. And on the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line ready and open for you, 605-720-1067. That's how we start the show. And let's get it going. Hey, you know what? The one thing we're not going to talk about tonight? Anybody? You heard it on the previous show you were just listening to, and you've heard it on this show and that show, and it's the debate of sports. It's the childish debate of sports. You know what we're not going to talk about tonight? You can be safe on this show. Maybe you can find it somewhere else. The LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith spat. I mean, who cares? LeBron and Stephen A. Smith, who cares? See ya. So we're not going to do that tonight. Sorry, LeBron. Sorry, Stephen A. Smith fans and LeBron fans. They can do their spat. They can have fun with that. I mean, who starts caring about this stuff? Drama, childish, stupid. I mean, it's just moronic stuff. So we aren't going to do that tonight. And I'm going to start with some basketball news, though. I'm going to start with some basketball news in South Dakota. This just came out an hour ago from On3. So On3 does a good job covering college sports. I'm not going to debate the report. I'm just going to tell you the report. South Dakota update here. On3 Sports is saying this afternoon that South Dakota State guard Haley Timmer is entering the transfer portal. So that's one of the basketball headlines I want to start the Nate Brown Show with tonight. Now, I've talked to Haley over the years, covered her in high school, followed her career here, and have interviewed her on the show. When did we get her on? Just a couple of weeks ago? I mean, we got her on before the tournament got going. So really enjoy our interactions with Haley. I think she's been outstanding. I think she's a great player for South Dakota State. And so this is one of those things that jumps out a little bit because you don't see it happen at SDSU that much in the women's program. And really on the football side, it's happened a little, not that much. SDSU has kind of been weathering the storm in this current era of transfer portal and NIL and all of that stuff. But the women's program's been building, and AJ's been pretty careful there of avoiding a lot of this stuff But I look at this. On3 Sports is reporting it, so I'm not going to say it's like lock stock, but that's usually pretty reputable. So On3 Sports reporting tonight, SDSU's Haley Timmer going to the transfer portal. And so what do I say about this? Like I said, I've known Haley. I've interviewed her. I've talked to her. Really enjoyed our interactions. It's just one of those things. And you know some of this stuff will just happen. You're never going to be totally clean from this if you're an SDSU. You just know this type of stuff can happen. You're not going to be able to just avoid this as where you're standing. And so I don't know what the story is with Haley Timmer and the opportunities that she has. There's probably some others out there. I expect Brooklyn Meyer, meaning not go to the transfer portal. I'm saying I'm sure there's offers and things like that with some great players. Haley Timmer, a double-digit scorer, nice defender. She can slash. She can do a lot of good things. She's still got quite a bit of future left, eligibility here, no doubt. And so it's just you can't say anything about it other than this is SDSU. Now, the women's program is really, really good. Really good. But are you talking about a huge opportunity here for Haley Timmer with some other program potentially? What type of program brings in Haley Timmer? We're talking top tier. So let's keep an eye on it. We'll do our work on this side of it. I'll reach out and see if we can have some discussions there. But you got to respect the scenario that is just happening according to On3 Sports. So that's one of the big basketball headlines tonight. South Dakota State guard Haley Timmer out of Rapid City. She is going to be in the transfer portal according to On3 Sports. That just came out moments ago. And speaking of, you're at SDSU and this type of stuff just happens. How can you as fans deal with this? I don't know. I've been around the mid-major programs my whole life. Grew up in Montana, Montana State, power FCS football programs, but they lost coaches. They lost things like that because you're just at that level. My brother played at Wyoming, D1. They lose coaches. That's just, it was rare to have Craig Bull there as long as he was after he left NDSU. So you were in these programs, you want them to be good. You want them to be high level. And then I think as fans, you just have to be like, I guess it is where we're at. In the NIL world and the transfer portal world, that's just where it's at. And I'm telling you, you can't act defeated. You just have to continue to build. And SDSU has been very good across a lot of sports. And you're just going to lose players eventually. We saw it on the men's basketball side, no doubt, especially this past year. The Zeke Mayo transfer and the Kyle transfer, those were huge. Those were absolutely huge. And now potentially the Haley Timmer transfer going to the portal according to On3 Sports. And now on the coaching side, are we going to see something happen again? SDSU has had changes in men's basketball. We know that. Over the last decade, it's ramped up. The last decade, it's ramped up at SDSU men's basketball. I really like Eric Henderson. I think Hendo's a great coach. I think he's done an outstanding job. Some people would say, is he going to head somewhere else? There was people talking about that this morning. That hasn't happened yet. So I want to point that out on the show tonight. Eric Henderson has not left South Dakota State as of now. But the reporters say Drake is interested in Eric Henderson. And so this is a pretty big basketball headline day across South Dakota with the Jackrabbits potentially losing Haley Timmer on the women's side, and then everybody just waiting to see, does Eric Henderson stay at South Dakota State? Does he go to Drake and get that opportunity? And by the way, I know sometimes things get a little ahead of themselves. Things, maybe we try and get ahead of things a little bit. Let's give some people a little bit of breather. Let's give them a little bit of breather. Let's not hammer folks that try and report news and try and help inform the fans, because the fans want info. I mean, the fans want instant info these days. And if somebody, gives some insight, they think they might have some insight here, and they're maybe ahead of it a little bit, then we just hammer them. We would just, and people love coming on Twitter and just hammering everybody. If just take it easy. Eric Henderson may go to Drake. I'm telling you, he may. I talked to Matt Zimmer of Sioux Falls Live yesterday. He said, I'd be very nervous if I'm a Jacks fan. He said, I don't have any insight, but I'd be very nervous. And it comes back to how I started the show. From a player standpoint, from a coach standpoint, what can South Dakota State do? What can South Dakota State do in this current environment? I'm telling you, it's not a defeated attitude. It's you build, you continue to develop. Players could leave. Coaches can leave. You try and get the best of the best. It's like the Drake model. Drake's brought in coaches. They lose coaches all the time. That's Drake. Even higher level than SDSU basketball. More success there. So that's Drake. They lost their coach to Iowa. They just got to continue to build. They might give this opportunity to Eric Henderson. And then SDSU and Justin Sell, what do? They continue to hire great people, and it's been happening for a long time. And so you just accept it and you move forward. I mean, nobody's going to be crying and whining about this scenario. It's where SDSU's at. They've had a great program across the athletic department, and Justin Sell's running the show. Got a new football guy in, Dan Jackson. We'll see how that rolls. May have to get another new men's basketball coach, and there's a lot of good ones out there, so hang tight on that. Eric Henderson has not gotten the job yet. Okay, people were wondering about that, but you got to stay up to speed on this. Drake is doing interviews. That's the latest out of Iowa. They've been doing interviews, did one today, as a matter of fact. Eric Henderson could be that head coach at Drake, and then SDSU going to get back into the mix, maybe looking for a new men's basketball coach. And I say there's great coaches out there. The last basketball headline of the day here in South Dakota, I got to give it, this is the third headline of the day. Northern State has hired their new men's basketball coach, and look who it is. Matt Wilbur. You basketball fans should know this name. Matt Wilbur did a nice job in Mitchell at Dakota Wesleyan. I mean, he did a nice job there. Recently left, went down and did the WNBA thing with Miller at Phoenix Mercury. So now he comes back to South Dakota. He has just been hired. Northern announced that right as we started the show tonight. Northern men's basketball coach is Matt Wilbur, and I think that's pretty solid. I don't know Matt that well, just followed his teams at DWU. I think that's pretty solid. So Matt Wilbur going to be going from an assistant WNBA coach back into South Dakota and coaching Northern, trying to make sure that program gets back to the top, the NSIC. So Matt Wilbur, the new head coach at Northern. Look at all this basketball stuff popping. Look at this basketball stuff popping. Listener text here. Listener text, biggest South Dakota basketball news is that Matt Wilbur to Northern story. Yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. That's, I don't know if a lot of people might have expected that. You're wondering, well, he went to the WNBA, he left. What could get him back here? That's a big hire there for Northern, I think. That's a nice one for Northern. Listener text, what can SDSU do? More money to keep them. There's not enough money. That's what I'm telling you. There's not enough money. So you could say we're going to try and give Eric Henderson, if he's interested in the Drake job and they're interested in him, I'm going to tell you Drake probably pays 2.5 times as much. 2.5 times, 3 times, just even at that level. So you can't do it. South Dakota State, I think, they'll try and do what they can. You can't do it. If Haley Timmer's going to leave the women's program, it's going to have to be, I think, for a pretty top-tier program. I mean, South Dakota State women's basketball is really, really good nationally, right? So what type of deal could she be getting? Who knows? It might be a big-time deal at a big-time program. So keep your eye on that. Let me see here. I got a quick one on baseball, then we'll get to Scott Pianowski. So opening day starting up. And here's what happened moments ago when the Twins were getting ready to play their opener at St. Louis. Twins.tv, this brand new streaming channel. Twins.tv. You guys maybe paid for this. It did. it was down. It's back up now, so you can watch the Twins Cardinals. It's back up now, don't worry. But it was down. The new TV channel just started. Okay? This is the one. You paid. Now we can watch every Twins game. And it was down. MLB TV was down, is what I'm seeing reports across the country. So opening day for Major League Baseball, just leave it to Major League Baseball to have their opening day and their number one distributing platform down. So what do I mean by this? What can Major League Baseball do here to get this viewing back to a level that brings baseball even more into the mainstream? I contend this can't just be a streaming thing for the ultimate fans. If you're an ultimate Twins fan, you did the Twins.tv thing, right? And you tuned it up today and you were cussing. I heard you all the way across the state, but you tuned it up. It'll work, I hope. I don't know. But you guys love the streaming, and Major League Baseball's done this streaming thing. We're going to do streaming, and we're going to get regional fans, and that's how we're going to do it. If you want to watch the Cubs like me, you're going to get the Cubs, and that you're good to go. Then you can get the Twins and that whole thing. Why isn't Major League Baseball on network TV every night of the week? You guys tell me. Why aren't they on a broadcast channel every night of the week? Sports is the number one seller. Live sports is what TV properties want. So you're telling me we couldn't put Major League Baseball on TNT, True TV, FS1, just bounce around. They should have a game on every night of the week that I should be able to tune in on. Every single night of the week for the next 6 months. That's how that should go. Yet we're going to do the stream, MLB.tv. It's a good deal. It's $200 a year, and you can get it. The ultimate fans are going to pay for it. The casual sports fans aren't going to. And then they're going to watch, there's Sunday Night Baseball. That's fun. Sunday Night Baseball. So we get a couple of games a week. You might see a random one, Monday, Wednesday, maybe. Baseball has so many games, so many live sports. You could have a game on broadcast television every night of the week. And Rob Manfred is out here whining that ESPN is dropping or didn't want to pay so much for baseball. Rob Manfred's just whining about that this week. He said about ESPN, they stepped up for the NBA, they stepped up for football, and they came back to us and said, we want to cut you. That's because you're clueless. Rob Manfred hasn't played this right. The commissioner of Major League Baseball. I would have been on the horn. Yes, do I have to get a ton of money from TNT and True TV and these guys? Just get something. Put your product on TV so fans can watch it. The ultimate fans are going to pay for the streaming package. Twins.tv and MLB.tv. They're going to pay for that. You're trying to reach way more people than that watching it on their phones. I think they got to get back to broadcast TV. I would sign deals with everybody and their mother. Oh, well, we're looking at Netflix. We're looking at YouTube TV. I'm sure you are. Let's see who pays the most, and that's where we'll go, and it'll be on channel 668-3. What, you can't find the Twins game? Yeah, it's on 668-3. Good luck. Coming right back with Scott Pianowski, Major League Baseball writer, Yahoo Sports next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Want to improve your putting? Master your chip shots? Golf Greens by Forever Lawn is the ultimate synthetic turf to improve your short game. For the committed golfer to the recreational player, we create custom golf greens to make your home or business the premier practice and entertainment destination. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you shave strokes off your golf game. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Look at all the pictures of the resort you'd stay in every year. All you need to do is pay reasonable maintenance fees once a year. With any contract that you're signing, read and understand everything. What happens if you cancel? Can you get out of this contract? If you feel pushed into signing the contract, you need to stop and take a step back. If you have questions, contact the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
The best pre-owned vehicles are Honda True Certified Pre-Owned, and the only place to find them is at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. Honda True Certified are protected by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage and 2-year non-powertrain coverage. All are thoroughly inspected and include 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and a 7-day exchange. Check out our selection at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 74. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, chance of rain, lows level off around 35. About an inch of snow Saturday through Saturday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show, a great day across South Dakota. Thanks for being here live on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show is on. Stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow us on Twitter there at Nate Brown Show and watch us live. Lot to cover tonight. Scott Pianowski's in. It's opening day. YahooSports.com. Major League Baseball. Scott Pianowski back on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Scott, how are you?
Oh, great. If you're a baseball fan, this is your type of day with 28 teams in action, wall-to-wall activity, and you know that we always think of like the NCAA tournament. What's more exciting than when that kicks off and the games are getting played at the same time? And although the stakes are much different, it's only the first game of the season. It's just so fun to watch a game and then bounce to another game and just jump around to where the action is. And that's what I've been trying to do all day. Okay, I love it. I'm looking forward to the season. My Cubbies might be okay in the NL Central. I'm going to get to that, but let's get to this coverage of baseball here. So here's something that happened. Twins.tv was brand new out here.
people could buy this, and you could get all the Twins games no matter. No blackouts in this region. So we get all the Twins games. It was down today as the game got going. It was down, the streaming. Now it's back up, so maybe it's just working through kinks. Is the Major League Baseball distribution, the MLB.TV, is that still their best bet? I contend, how are they not trying to get on broadcast TV every night of the week?
That's a $1 million question right there. I mean, how much of stuff is going to be on the traditional broadcast model? How much of it is going to be a la carte? We've seen them delve into some streaming things. Every once in a while, people will be like, "Where's the game?" "Oh, it's on Apple TV." I don't have Apple TV, and people get mad because they can watch 150 Yankee games, but not that one. This is a extremely important year for baseball for a lot of different reasons. Because there's talk there could be a lockout next year, and what a horrible time it would be to have that, because you have so many stars in the game. There's always been this thing that baseball doesn't know how to market itself. There are so many great players in the game right now that I don't think you could screw it up. I wish, you think about how did basketball take off, right? Basketball was tape delay finals in the late 70s, and then you get Magic, and then you get Bird, and then you get David Stern, who understands cable TV. You get Michael Jordan, and everything explodes. I think baseball's a different type of game. It's a slower burn. It's a longer season. Every game doesn't have the gravity that the NFL does. The NFL has that huge advantage. Every game matters in a way that the other sports just can't match. But this should be a golden age of baseball, and I really hope they make good decisions this year. And they have a lot of choices. It's, everybody's changed. However you watch TV or entertainment now, I guarantee it's different than it was 10 years ago. So baseball's trying to figure it out the same way that movie studios are trying to figure out. Musicians are trying to figure out, how do I record a record and get it out to the people? This has changed significantly in the last few years.
Did Rob Manfred make a good play with the ESPN thing here? He was talking this week that they cut us out, their coverage and the whole thing. So they're not going to be doing the ESPN deal. How should Rob Manfred have handled that? You need ESPN, but maybe you're saying, well, maybe you don't. Maybe Fox steps in, maybe NBC, but you sure would try and do a deal with ESPN, would you not?
You'd like to. It's one of those things where how do you love somebody who maybe doesn't love you back in the same way? That's always the question in relationships, is the balance, right? Is who's more invested, whose heart is more invested. And ESPN's heart is in the NFL. ESPN's heart is in college football. And the line of what ESPN is, it's become so blurred now because they're broadcast partners of so many things. I think Scott Van Pelt is as good as anybody in the business, but still, and they've made some interesting hires. They got one of our Yahoo guys, Dan Wetzel, over there now for work, and Jeff Passan was a Yahoo guy for a long time, doing great baseball work. He's now a head guy over at ESPN, still doing great work. But ESPN wasn't going to be the NFL was always going to be more important. And what drives me crazy if I'm a baseball guy, it's one thing. The NBA, of course, is a big ESPN property. It's one thing to cover the game like crazy in season in the playoffs, but when you get those off-season stories where it's like, LeBron James orders ham sandwich on August 25th coming up after the break, and say, well, wait a minute, Aaron Judge just drove in 7 runs. Can we get to that? Can we get to what Ohtani just did? Stuff like that. I get why baseball felt like it was buried in the priority list. The problem, sometimes you're no good options, though, right? I mean, sometimes all your choices look like lesser choices, but I feel like Manfred looked at the situation and says, we're not a priority here. Let's try to find somebody who will make us a priority.
Good point. That example, Scott, was today on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James are in this spat, and that was covered the whole day. Right. I mean, ESPN was doing the Yankees game, and leading up the whole morning was Stephen A. and LeBron spat. I mean, it's amazing. Scott Pianowski on YahooSports.com, Major League Baseball. You mentioned next year, and then I want to get to this season, but you mentioned the lockout potential. What's the story there? Is this owner-induced? What's the deal that we're looking at harm next year?
Well, I mean, you look at the Soto contract, and Steve Cohen, if you're a Mets fan, you have an owner who has money, endless supply of money, and just wants to win, and isn't worried about what the team is worth on paper, if you turn a profit or not. He just wants to be a championship team. Obviously, the Dodgers have advantages, and the Ohtani deal was a unique deal with Ohtani because they gave him so much deferred money. But the baseball fan is always going to argue, well, wait a minute, do the Pirates have a chance? I know the Royals made the playoffs, but how much do the Royals have a chance? Do the Rays, who don't have a home right now, what a weird time in baseball, right, where the Rays and the Athletics are not even playing in their own stadiums. I don't even know what to call the Athletics. I'm just calling them the Athletics. Maybe the Rays are playing in Steinbrenner Field, for crying out loud. See the schedule they have to have now? They're on the road for major chunks of a time because they want to avoid the rainy season in baseball. Baseball needs to fight. I think they need to save the owners. The owners want to save themselves from themselves. They want to be able to pay whatever they want on the rich side, but the other team's like, well, wait a minute. We don't want to. That doesn't mean just because Soto made $700 or $800 million, it doesn't mean that a good player should get $200 million. I don't know where this comes down. I think there might be some kind of work stoppage, and that's a horrible thing to have. You don't have the momentum, especially when you think of baseball. When a baseball season starts, there's so much other stuff going on. You're on the eve of the NBA playoffs. You're on the eve of the NHL playoffs, the Masters. Obviously the tournament is going on right now. It was horrible. Some of the tone of the labor dispute a couple of years ago I thought was horrible. I thought Manfred handled it very poorly. But the last thing baseball needs is to have a work stoppage, and I hope they can avoid it. But I'm nervous, Nate. It's all because of the spending. Teams want to have the high-end guys spend, and the medium and lower-end guys are like, well, we don't want to spend like that. Some of these teams are pocketing their revenue-sharing money, happy to make a profit, win 75 games a year. They don't want their apple cart upset.
Yeah. People are arguing some owners use their teams as a piggy bank. It's their piggy bank, not trying to win, and it's their piggy bank for other ventures that they're doing. These are commercial real estate folks and stuff like that. All right, Scott Pianowski on. Let's talk this season. Opening day just got going. Dodgers seem to be the favorite. Do we like a favorite like that as we start the year? Meaning, that's the team to follow. Can they be beaten? Is that a good storyline?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the Dodgers, they're a fascinating team this year, and I've been talking about all month over at Yahoo. I've never seen a baseball team as guaranteed to be in the postseason as the 2025 Dodgers. That speaks partially, of course, to the expanded playoffs. So it's everything would have to go wrong for this team to miss. So what happens? Last year, Nate, 2 pitchers on the Dodgers threw more than 90 innings. Nobody came close to qualifying for the ERA title. And this year, Dave Roberts has said, well, maybe we need to pull back from some of our starters. Right now, we have Mookie Betts isn't feeling well, and maybe they don't want to play Freddie Freeman 155 or 160 games. There's talk about eventually Ohtani will pitch, but that's indefinite. I think he'll actually throw very little this year because he's so valuable as a pitcher. But you look, Glass now, a history of injury concern. They're hoping to get something from Kershaw, not sure when that will be. Blake Snell's had a lot of seasons where he's in the 140, 150, 160 range. Nobody really throws 200 innings anymore. This is a traveling circus with stars, but they're focused on October. And one other thing, I don't think people realize this. When you look at that Dodgers lineup, almost everybody in it is 30 or older. It's actually an older team than people realize. So what's going to happen is going to be, we see this in the NBA, load management. Is it that important for the Lakers to beat the Atlanta Hawks on March 15th? Maybe not. Does Jason Tatum have to play against a lesser team when the Celtics are just thinking about the playoffs, trying to go to the finals again? And yes, it would be fun to see the Celtics and Lakers again. For all this talk of parity, I'd be in favor of that too. But the Dodgers are already in the playoffs, and all they're considered, they have a couple of Japanese pitchers. We know the culture is different. They're not just in life, but in baseball. They have 6-man rotations. They don't throw as often. So they don't want Yamamoto and Sasaki to make 35 starts in the regular season. They want those guys to be healthy when the playoffs come. So I think be careful when you buy your tickets for a Dodger game if you're in another city, because it might be one of those days that maybe Ohtani doesn't play, maybe Betts doesn't play, maybe Freeman doesn't play, maybe it's a bullpen game, because this team is so guaranteed to be in October, and they've learned that all that really matters is how healthy and what kind of form are you in when the real season starts.
Okay, give me your read, Scott, before I let you run on the AL Central. Twins fans around here wondering, can they get in the mix? Is it the Tigers? Who wins this division that's winnable?
If the Twins have average injury luck, they should win the division. They have the best everyday lineup. They certainly have the best top three starters. I think they have two dynamite arms at the end of their bullpen. Jax is one of the best setup relievers in the game. We know that. And they're a very good defensive team. The question is, can they get even 120 games out of Buxton? How healthy will Lewis be? He's already hurt. Correa has a history of breaking down. If they have injury luck that's average, I think they win the division by 5 or more games. Cleveland, to me, is still the main contender, even though their lineup, it's got holes in it. The second half of it, you can pitch to it. Kansas City and Detroit might have been over their skis last year. They made the playoffs. They're great stories. Witt could be an MVP any season. Skubal, right now, probably the best pitcher in the American League. But Detroit, the projections I've seen, Detroit still has a bottom half offense. Kansas City, Witt's tremendous, but the bottom four of that lineup, you can pitch to those guys. I'll go back to my original point. If the Twins have ordinary injury luck, they don't have to get lucky with injuries. Just don't be catastrophically hurt by them. I think it's their division to win.
Okay, and my Cubs, NL Central, yes?
I'm feeling it. I like the move. I know they had to give up a top prospect, but I like the move for Tucker. Wrigley Field is not great for left-handed power, so maybe he'll give up some of that, but he's good at everything. He works the count. He's going to hit for a high average. He'll steal 20 bases. They have a pitching staff I like. Imanaga didn't get as much attention because Yamamoto was the bigger guy coming over from Japan last year, but he had a really nice season. I mean, unfair of the setup. They had to start the season in Japan to play the Dodgers, so they spotted everybody a 2-game lead. But This is the weakest Cardinals team I've seen in a while. The Reds still have holes. The Pirates, I'm not sure, even with as great as Skeens is, and O'Neal Cruz, I think, is going to be a breakout player this year. It's all going to come together for him. Hits the ball so hard. He was 15 for 15 on steals in the second half of the year, but they don't have the depth. It's the Cubs of the Brewers. The Brewers have the best defensive team in baseball. They're one of the smartest organizations, even though they're leadership, management, GM has turned over the last few years, but they still do things very well. I think the end of the season will be the Brewers or the Cubs. I think maybe both teams might make the playoffs with one of them sneaking as a wild card. But that, to me, looks like a two-team race.
Opening day segment, knocked it out. Scott Pianowski, yahoosports.com, Major League Baseball. Always appreciate you, man. Let's get it going. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, let's have a fun season, Nate. Great to talk to you.
Thanks for your time, Scott. Scott Pianowski on tonight, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. National Major League Baseball writer, yahoosports.com. That's a good opening day segment. Now let's go South Dakota sports with Zach Borg. A lot to cover. Transfer portal news. Is Eric Henderson on the move from South Dakota State? Not yet. What's Zach Borg have to say? Dakota News Now anchor live from Sioux Falls next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com and start gliding again.
At the number one sportsbook in Deadwood. With next-level game packages at the BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort has the perfect spot to watch college basketball this season.
Hit that one from the parking lot!
Cheer on all your favorite teams in a comfortable lounge lined with wall-to-wall television arrays.
And that's it! What a comeback!
Seat packages include free play and dining credit to take your game day to the next level. Get yours today at TinLizzy.com. And don't miss a single moment of the NCAA basketball tournament at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Appreciate you being here. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show across South Dakota, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. What do you got? 60s, 70s across the state today? And then it's going to cool down again. Yeah, I mean, it's spring. It's spring. Okay? Thor Nystrom's coming up on the Nate Brown Show. What's on tap? Brought to you by the new Campfire Bar in Rapid City at Mr. Liquor, South Dakota's best and biggest liquor store off Catron Boulevard. The new Mr. Liquor in the Campfire Bar. Watch March Madness tonight at the Campfire Bar. 20 local brews on tap. What's on tap? Thor Nystrom coming up, NFL draft analyst, Vikings analyst, Score North from the Twin Cities straight ahead. Let's go South Dakota sports. Zach Borg's joining us tonight. Watch him on Dakota News Now. Zach, good to have you on. How are you?
Well, I'm enjoying the nice weather. I'm actually wearing shorts. I was shooting Augustana baseball, and then every 5 minutes I get an update about some new coaching thing or somebody hitting the portal. So,
yeah,
you know, I mean, I was already a little depressed coming into this week after CSU got jobbed by that referee.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't call it travel.
That's
right.
right.
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all.
I would be, actually. I didn't see that travel live. I didn't. I thought it was a good play, and then they went to the instant replay. It was a travel. You got hit on an NBA travel.
I didn't see it live either. I'm not, they're never going to call that. It was a great, CSU was on the verge of a Sweet 16. I really can't ask for much more. But, yeah, it's just it's a crazy time. And, right now with the portal and the way everything is. And, boy, we've got a lot of coaching news and news regarding SDSU. It's just not necessarily what I expected about 5 hours ago.
No, you and me both. There's some basketball headlines. Let me get to this. So On3 Sports, that's a reputable college publication. They cover college sports. They just reported this afternoon SDSU guard Haley Timmer going to the transfer portal. I'm a big fan of Haley. We've had her on the show a lot. I covered her in Rapid City and at St. Thomas More. This is a good player, double-digit scorer, just does so many things. Transfer portal hasn't hit AJ that much. What's your reaction to that?
Probably overdue. If it hit, I mean, it's going to hit everybody, and unfortunately, I think with the way women's basketball is becoming, we partially saw this with the fact that a team that just went 29-3 with a good non-conference resume got a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it still makes no sense to me. But, I mean, I think this is what we're going to start to see a little more. I wouldn't be shocked if it does become a little more like the men's game. There's just, I think you have to wonder if the ceiling, if we've seen maybe these programs hit the ceiling now for the women's game. So, Something similar just happened the other day up in North Dakota where a native North Dakotan by the name of Jocelyn Schiller was playing for UND, and that's all she'd ever wanted to do was play for UND. Well, she just went in the transfer portal. I mean, so I think even the fact that these are South Dakotans who are, you think, well, maybe they grew up wanting to play here all along. You just don't know with this portal anymore. I mean, it's such a wild west anymore. We'll see if it's the last one. I think I heard another girl by the name of Jenna Hopp, who was another reserve guard, went in. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Brooklyn Meyer right now, who was the Conference Player of the Year, of course. And Haley was coming off a big injury too. Of course, she missed the previous season. But I'm not surprised. I think it was probably just, AJ held him off as long as he could. Of course, a year ago it was North Dakota State who had Elle Evans leave. Unfortunately, this is just where we're at.
Here's the thing. I don't know where Haley Timmer's going to end up. We don't know, but goes to the transfer portal today. My guess is, since SDSU is a great program, this is a great program. I'm talking a player like Haley Timmer. She might have some big-time opportunities at like, elite schools. That's my guess.
Yeah, I don't think she's, I'd be a little stunned if she ends up at, like Creighton, no disrespect. If she ends up at Creighton.
Right.
Or,
right.
even Iowa State or Iowa. I mean, although, to be fair, I think Iowa State was like ranked 8th, but I mean, like, her or Brooklyn Meyer, if Brooklyn Meyer chooses to go in, and again, I have no foreknowledge on that. You're talking about an SDSU program that's been knocking on the door of getting to a Sweet 16. If you're transferring to go to Minnesota or, somewhere that's kind of, there's just a lot of, you would really want to see her go to somewhere that's kind of elite, but you never know. I mean,
yeah.
It's hard to say, but yeah, I would think the offers are going to be pretty good for her, but it's just such a wild west. You hope she has something in hand at this point, because a lot of kids go into the portal and they just don't know. Like, I don't know that Jenna, the other one who's going in, Jenna Hopp, is going to be going to a major. She might be going to an NSIC school, a D2 school around here. That could just be reality for some of them. But you just hope a lot of the kids, men or women, when they're going into the portal, have an opportunity lined up already. I think Haley does. I'm sure she does. But there are a lot of them who are just jumping in. I think I saw the number was something like 1,200 are in the portal right now. You could fill 83 teams with that right now. It's insane what's going on.
Let me ask you about the news we might be waiting for. We don't know. Eric Henderson could be a candidate at Drake. They're still doing interviews from all the reporting from the Iowa TV guys. But Eric Henderson, he could be in this mix. Do you think SDSU could be hiring another men's basketball coach in the coming weeks?
I think it's very possible. I mean, it might even be the coming days at this point. I don't think it'll take much longer on this Drake search one way or the other. By all accounts, he was in on the Drake job last year that went to McCollum, which would make a lot of sense. Hendo's an Iowa native. You look at his roster, he's recruited a lot of Iowa guys. Along with, to his credit, he's done a lot of South Dakota kids too. But you can go Douglas Wilson, was an Iowa kid. I mean, Luke Apple. I mean, there's been a lot of, currently, I mean, the kid, the point guard who just missed the Summit League tournament, unfortunately. I mean, if they had their point guard, they might have won that Summit League tournament. We don't know. But, he's been here 7 years now. I think right now at this stage of mid-major basketball, 7 years is about all you can ask for anymore from a head coach. I've been talking with some of the because I worked in Des Moines for a while, so I still have some sources out there. And, I think this is still ongoing, but it wouldn't shock me if he is the guy. I think it might be trending that way, in fact, but we'll see. I mean, these searches are crazy, and you never know, but he was definitely in the mix a year ago, and I think it's no shock that he's in the mix again, and he might even be the front runner.
How about
and that job is very attractive. I mean, the last 3 coaches who held it are now in the Big Ten: Nico Medved, Darren DeVries, and Ben McCollum.
How about this hire at Northern just announced moments ago? I think this is a good one. Northern's hiring Matt Wilbur. Matt Wilbur coming back. He was at DWU, had a lot of success, went to the WNBA as an assistant. Now he comes back. Northern gets Matt Wilbur. What do you think?
This is a home run. I think this is a home run hire. I mean, a bit of a shocker because I don't know that a lot of us knew that he was going to be coming back, quite frankly. I mean, he and his wife, too, is actually the head volleyball coach at Dakota Wesleyan, so I'm kind of curious to see how that'll work out. But no, the teams he recruited during some of his time at Dakota Wesleyan, they could have challenged any Division II team in the state, except for maybe the Augustana teams that won the national title. I think that's probably fair to say there. But he was on par in recruiting some of the best talent in the state. I mean, his Dakota Wesleyan teams were, at one point, his highest finish was a national runner-up finish in the NAIA. I mean, this is a home run hire. You kind of wondered what was going to happen. I mean, that job, Saul Phillips, when he took it over from Paul Sather, had a couple of good years. Of course, he had Parker Fox. The pandemic hit him really hard, and I don't know exactly what's happened there the last couple of years. It went downhill fast. But this is a guy who has had his pulse on South Dakota, which at this level, I mean, boy, you really have to recruit in Division II. You really have to recruit your state and your region a lot harder, even more so than obviously Division I. And Matt Wilbur always had his pulse on the best South Dakota talent. So I think this is a home run hire for Northern. And it's going to be interesting, too, the Augustana games, because obviously he's an Augie alum. I mean, boy, they're not in the same division, but, man, I wish those two could play 2 times a year, because him and Cody Schilling going up against each other, I'm not sure if they were teammates together, but that's going to be a bit of a... I mean, it's always a fun rivalry when you have Augie and Northern, but it just got a little spicier, I think.
I like it. Big headlines, at least, and awaiting some headlines in hoops across South Dakota. Zach Borg on tonight.
I'll add another one, too. This is a little bit for some people who might remember. Former Roosevelt Rough Rider Colton Koima is going to be the new head coach at Northwestern College in Orange City. Their head coach just retired. And,
okay.
So another former South Dakota Prep is going to be a head coach, and he's not that far removed from playing either.
A lot of stuff popping. Zach Borg, watch him tonight and throughout the week. Dakota News Now, Sioux Falls. Zach, good to have you, man. Thanks for the time.
Hey, Nate, have a good weekend.
Appreciate you. Zach Borg on tonight. Dakota News Now sports anchor, live from Sioux Falls. He's on Twitter at Iceborg. Boy, you can find him there and watch him on Dakota News Now. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Let's visit our question of the day on Major League Baseball's opening day. What do you think is best for Major League Baseball to attract viewers? Going the MLB.TV route, the streaming route, it's all access, you get all the games, or do you need more broadcast TV games? My question of the day, what would attract more viewers across the country for Major League Baseball? They have the MLB.TV package. You can pay for it, you get every game. But the broadcast TV side, yeah, you get some. You'll see one on Fox. You'll see one on ESPN. You'll see FS1. It's sparse. My take is the broadcast TV side is absolutely missing. We'll take yours. Question of the day, reaction next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Stihl, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Fleet Farm's kicking off a new season of deals with our Bring On Spring Savings event. Freshen up your landscape with bags of superior shredded mulch. On sale now, 5 for $10. Get a free $20 gift card when you buy $100 of select Columbia footwear and apparel. And swap out that old fishing line with some Berkley Fire Line, now just $15.99 a spool. Bring on spring with great seasonal supplies at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together in putting your family first.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 74. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, chance of rain, lows level off around 35. About an inch of snow Saturday through Saturday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show live Thursday edition. Get ready. Are we ready for happy hour coming up? I'm ready for happy hour. It's the second hour of the program. It is Rob Kagron live in studio, the New York City native, the famous radio host of all time. He's solid, man, and he's ready to come in back on a Thursday happy hour. Coming up with Rob Kagron live in studio, a lot to discuss. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. How about opening day today? What do you say here? There's an interesting topic that's been discussed this week in Major League Baseball is Rob Manfred, the commissioner, is talking about, are we accessible to the fans? He talked about how they're looking at, the direct-to-consumer digital side. He said they're up to 23 teams now in Major League Baseball that have the direct-to-consumer digital side, like Twins.tv, which many of you maybe... You paid for that this year. Now you can get all the Twins game, no blackouts. Well, I just try and find it on DirecTV. It's a channel 668-3. It's the only time I get into the 668-3s. But that's where you can find the Twins. Before it was FanDuel TV, and then it was the regional sports networks, and you were hoping that you could catch it, and this wasn't blacked out or on MLB.tv. I mean, it's been a mess. It's been a mess, but Rob Manfred's talking about they're trying to make efforts now to reach more people. Manfred admitted spreading national games across media services is a lot, and he's trying to figure out what the best option is, meaning they spread out their distribution across, it's hard to find Major League Baseball games. It just is. Even with the Twins today, their opening game, you could go, it depends. If you have cable, it's this. If you have DirecTV, it's this. If you could get Twins.tv, but then it was down at the start of it. It really shouldn't be that hard for Twins fans to watch the Twins. But here's my take. It shouldn't be that hard for the country to watch Major League Baseball. I'm serious about it, and I know you got to negotiate. You got to look at stuff. How do they not have their games on broadcast TV darn near every night of the week? Some game. They should be on TV all season, every night. And I don't care how much money you get from Warner Brothers or whoever it is. Just get something. Put your product on network TV. Broadcast TV. If you can get it on NBC, that's great. Maybe NBC is going to take over where ESPN dropped them. That's the angle you want to take. You want to get Fox, ramp that up. You want NBC. They think, well, then we'll get this streamer and that streamer. And that's my problem. Baseball is every which way, And Rob Manfred's been talking about, well, we got to try and, reach more fans. It is kind of hard. Baseball's made this hard. I think it's pretty easy. Companies want live sports, media companies. That's the ticket these days, live sports. I don't know what they're going to pay you, but you can't whine about it if you get $550 million a year. And they whined about it. ESPN only gave them $550. We're upset about that. They don't want it. Hey, we're upset. They were mad that they gave the NBA a ton of money. The NFL, a huge amount of money. If you're baseball, you just need to take the route, I believe, instead of the money. Easy for me to say. I'm not the owners. They want the money. Rob Manfred's trying to get the money. I'm trying to get promotional value. Just like some of these teams have done. The Phoenix Suns put their games on in Phoenix Metro for free. It's on broadcast over the air. It's for free. The Utah Jazz have done that. Salt Lake City. It's free. That's how you build fans. It's not, well, you got to pay this. He's happy that the teams in Major League Baseball have done direct to consumer. Well, they're still paying for it. And you're only going to get the real fans, not the casual fans. What do you say? What's better for baseball, trying to get on more broadcast TV or keep the streaming by regions, by markets? 76% of you voting you should go broadcast TV games. 24% of you voting keep the streams by region, MLB.TV. Listener text, TV broadcasters need their primetime spots for the latest survivalist reality shows. Yeah, there's plenty of those too. Coming right back with Thor Nystrom. He is in the Twin Cities. I want to get his read on the Vikings. He thought they would stick with J.J. McCarthy from the start. That's what it looks like they're going to do. Is Thor continuing to be right? Thor Nystrom, NFL draft analyst and Score North Vikings analyst, next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com and start gliding again.
Credit Union. We are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Cadillac Jacks is Deadwood's exclusive home of the Roaring Riches Jackpot. Just be actively playing your favorite slot machine with your club card engaged for your chance to win. The Roaring Riches Jackpot starts at $7,500 and must hit by $10,000. Plus, you can keep up to the minute on the current Roaring Riches total on your Cadillac Jacks mobile app. Roaring Riches has already paid out $2 million. Anyone at any time on any spin. You could be the next to win. Only at Cadillac Jacks Gaming Resort.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, TV, Wilson Cell Booster Systems, and now Starlink and Equistar Internet Systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're back into the second hour. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. It is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. Thanks for making this show possible. Hope you've had a great Thursday. It's always a great day in South Dakota. We know that. Happy hour's coming up. Get ready. Our guest host live in studio, Rob Kegron, on his way in. We've got a lot to discuss tonight with the New York City radio host, Rob Kegron. What a deal. He gets Russell Wilson for his New York Giants. We will get to that. I'm going to have some fun with it. Rob Kegron's live in studio coming up. Let's go to NFL draft analyst, Fantasy Life, Thor Nystrom. Also does some work with the Score North guys in the Twin Cities on the Vikings. Thor, good to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you?
Good, buddy. So I got to give you credit. I've been giving you credit on this show tonight. I've been giving you credit on this show. So we got Thor Nystrom coming up. He was the first, one of the only guys that was sticking with the story. The Vikings are going to go with J.J. McCarthy. That's the plan. You were first on this when Sam Darnold was still, they were wondering. Why have you been right so far?
This was the plan. The front office, if you just listen to the quotes that have been put out publicly, you can follow the breadcrumbs. Both the way that they depicted Sam and the way that they talked about him throughout. It was always super duper respectful, but there was no talk about the future with him. And a couple of times there was even slip ups. Wes Phillips one time after, maybe it was during the week, he was up at a presser, but he said something like, "Yeah, Sam, what a great season he's having, and that'll be great for him wherever he's playing." It was like something like that. Like there would be these brief slip ups. But, so it's that stuff, and then hearing stuff around town, and then knowing J.J. McCarthy's game. Just the Vikings obviously know his game now. He's in the building for a year. I think that there is a lot of confidence in that building for that kid.
Okay, so Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah yesterday had his press conference and said, this is what we want. We want J.J. McCarthy to be QB1. It's what we want. But he wouldn't shut the door on, what about Aaron Rodgers? How is he supposed to handle that questioning?
No, I thought he handled it well, and I think the Vikings have handled it well this offseason. I mean, it's no secret that Aaron Rodgers wanted to sign in Minnesota, and Aaron Rodgers would like to be the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings next year. That was sort of the hang-up there. That position has already been theoretically spoken for, tentatively spoken for. And, the thing where it's wait and see, they haven't even gotten out on the field yet. I think it's mid-April when the voluntary OTAs start, and then you get into sort of that stuff. The Vikings want to see how McCarthy's moving out there, how he's throwing the ball, just make sure that everything's going good. He was ahead of schedule on his rehab. You just seen him on TV a few days ago out on the links in Mexico. All the players were out there for that tournament. He seemed to be moving well out there. So, yeah, I mean, as long as he is healthy and as they expect, yeah, I mean that's a wrap on that. And then the only path for Rodgers to sign here, you would have to take the small money 1-year deal, and you would have to agree in advance to be the QB2, and maybe even with and we're going to need you to say that at the press conference too, that you're cool with that and you're cool with being a mentor, et cetera.
So Kevin O'Connell did talk to Aaron Rodgers, though. They had conversations. What do you think Vikings were trying to think there?
Well, O'Connell and Rodgers are friends going back a lot, or at least friendly with one another. You know, they talk, you know, during the season. They, you know, text messages and stuff like that. Like, they're both from California. They're roughly the same age. There was either the same draft class that came in or it was one apart, I forget. But, you know, because of that, they're very, very familiar with each other. And, again, they're friendly. And, you know, it's like Kwesi said at the press conference yesterday, his job is to consider all possibilities. And Kevin O'Connell, he's the quarterback whisperer. Of course, he's going to consider all the possibilities with the quarterback position of, can this fit, right? Like, both Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell want J.J. McCarthy to be the starter next year, but can't predict the future. J.J. McCarthy is the first, I believe, top 10 selected quarterback to ever miss his entire rookie season and then now be projected to immediately take over in year 2. So you're sort of walking down a path that hasn't been walked a bunch, and to keep Rodgers around as the injury insured, sure, you can take over as QB1 if disaster strikes, right? Like in advance, but otherwise it would have to be. We're moving forward with JJ, so you would have to be on board with that as well. So of course, you have to have discussions with the person to ascertain if either of those things are good on their end.
Thor Nystrom on tonight, Fantasy Life NFL Draft Analyst. Score North does some hits there with the guys in the Twin Cities. Good coverage. So I want to get your last one on J.J. McCarthy. You're the draft guy. I think it's risky, Thor, just for objectively looking at it, saying big team. They added to it, $300 million spent in the offseason. So the O-line, D-line, they beefed up here, and now they're rolling it out there with J.J. McCarthy, and I think it's risky. You tell me.
No, I don't think, barring getting through here these next couple months and just confirming that he's 100% just as far as on the field. No, you know how much I believe in that kid. He was the number 3 overall player on my big board heading into the last draft class. I just really like his game, and I think it translates really well to the NFL. And not only that, he played in a 12 personnel offense, started there for 2 years, true sophomore, true junior, wins the national championship as a 20-year-old for a sitting NFL head coach in a pro-style 12 personnel system. That sitting NFL head coach, of course, Jim Harbaugh, called him the best player in school history, and then said the best quarterback in school history, and said he was the best player in the last draft class. There's stylistic similarities to the offense that Michigan was running, and then some of the concepts that the Vikings do. They like to play in 12 personnel as well. Obviously, O'Connell leans more towards the pass, whereas on the initial downs, Harbaugh historically leans towards the run, but there's similarities otherwise. And then the other thing is the improvisational aspect of McCarthy's game. He's a tremendous athlete, and he keeps his throwing platform with him on the run and his mechanics with him on the run. So he's able to get second, third bites at the apple, and then he can hit receivers any sector of the field.
Draft coming up, so Giants go with Russell Wilson. So now everybody's wondering, Thor, what does that mean for them QB-wise, Shedeur Sanders-wise? What do you think the Giants are doing there?
Yeah, I mean, before they didn't have a choice. You would have had to get one of those top 2 quarterbacks, if you didn't have a starting option heading in there, because the coach and the GM, I mean, everybody thought they were going to get fired before. You were on the hottest of hot seats heading into the season, one of those where you could get it 3 games in, especially if you don't seem to have a cohesive plan. But at least now that you have addressed that quarterback situation, I don't think it crosses quarterback off. I absolutely think that it's still in play, but it's no longer an enormous need area. And I think if the Giants had their druthers, they would probably prefer now that the 2 quarterbacks go above them, and then they get their pick of the class of best player, whoever they think that is. For them, I would advocate for Travis Hunter. I think you're going to get your immediate CB1 there, and then you're going to get a legitimate and qualified second banana, electric one, to play next to Malik Neighbors. And all of a sudden, the Giants, for the first time in years and years, since Eli Manning was there, would have an interesting passing offense.
Great stuff tonight. Follow his work at Thor KU. He's on Twitter there. Fantasy Life. It is NFL Draft Time with Thor Nystrom, the best guy to follow, man. It's good stuff, Thor. Thanks for the time.
My man, Nate, appreciate you.
Appreciate your time tonight. Thor Nystrom on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thor Nystrom, NFL Draft Analyst. Fantasy Life. Happy hour's upon us. New York Giants football. You never thought it would be a headline, did you? But it is. My boy Russell Wilson with my boy Rob Kagron in next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Stock up and save on the toughest filters in the business during Wix Filters sale days at your local Auto Value Parts store. Not only will you get the best deal of the season on our very best filters, but you'll also find deep discounts on oil, fluids, grease, batteries, and more. Upgrade your filters during Wix Filters sale days at your local Auto Value Parts store. See store for official sale dates. Auto Value. We've got the parts. We've got the smarts.
Sports Grass by Forever Lawn delivers a trifecta that can't be beat. Higher quality product, expertly handled custom installation, and long-term partnership. Indoors or out, small or large. Your sports grass field will continue to look and feel great after years of play. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you put the best into your sports fields. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Shop the region's largest selection of spirits, wines, and beers at the best prices today at both Mr. Liquor locations in Rapid City. Save $7 on Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, now $23.99. 750 bottles of Jefferson Bourbon reduced $5, now just $29.99. Or take advantage of special pricing on Old Forester Whiskey Row Series Bourbon. Experience the new Mr. Liquor 2 next to Walmart off Catron, or the original location on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 74. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow night, chance of rain, lows level off around 35. About an inch of snow Saturday through Saturday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
March means big savings at Spearfish Motors. Save up to $6,250 on 2025 GMC Sierra Light Duty, or choose finance rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months. Save up to $2,750 on select GMC Sierra HDs. Plus, we've received truckloads of new GMC inventory. Check out a great selection of the all-new Acadia, Terrain, and Canyon. Hurry in today before the March savings drive away. Online always at spearfishmotors.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a Thursday. You know what that means, right? Well, it's Sweet 16 tonight. Sweet 16 tonight. The Dukies are coming for you. Believe that. Rob Kagron is in on a Thursday. It is Happy Hour presented by the Skybox. You're home for March Madness. You're home for all of the sports. That's what you want. Opening day today. So Exciting time, man. Weather's nice in South Dakota. You got baseball, and then it's going to be like 30s this weekend. So, I mean, it's springtime. We know that. Skybox is the place right above the Firehouse, downtown Rapid City. Rapid City's best sports bar is the Skybox, right upstairs. Went there last weekend. State tournament going on. It's busy. Busy at the Skybox. Here we go. I've got some March Madness stuff we want to get to, Rob. I've got a lot of that, but you know what we have to start with. Rob Kegron is a New York City guy. He's a New York City guy. Well, you know what we have to start with? St. John's. No, anyway.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
I honestly, I thought I was going to make it a whole segment without you bringing that up. I don't know what made me think that. I should have known better. Oh my gosh.
Well, you were in here weeks ago talking smack. St. John's, we're here. UConn's nothing, and I mean you were there. And I saw this coming. You guys can't shoot. You can't shoot good enough. And so I saw it coming. I had them get beat in the second game. I had them beat. Right there.
In your bracket?
Yes.
Wow, look at you.
So, and my wife, I think, took him to like the Final Four.
So did I.
Sorry. She must listen to you more than me, but nonetheless, St. John's out. But I don't want to start with that. I actually want to start with the New York Football Giants. Here's the first question. It comes in on the text line from the listeners tonight.
Here we go.
This is a text line question. This is a great question. I'll just ask it right here. The first question for Rob Kegron tonight. Were you bawling or jumping for joy when Russell Wilson joined your team 2 days ago?
You know, the truth of the answer is neither. I was more confused than anything. I was, why are we signing Russell? Okay, Jameis Winston we signed last week, right, to a 1-year deal. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I was jumping up and down when they signed Jameis. Okay. No, I was like, this is silly. But what did it indicate to me? You already signed Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito, right? And so he started a number of games for us the last couple of years. I'm not saying he's an answer, right? Let's make it abundantly clear. I don't think Tommy DeVito should be the starting QB of the Giants.
You kind of sound like you were okay with that. You're treating Tommy Cutlets better than Jameis and Russell, I'm getting the feeling.
No, my point is that he's shown himself to be a serviceable quarterback, somebody you can actually put in a game. He won a few games even. I don't think that's what you want, but okay, you put him on the roster. So that he was, for a little bit of time, he was the only quarterback on the Giants roster. Then you go out last week and you sign Jameis to a very cheap 1-year, like $4 million deal. Which means I can't believe that he can't, as a back, he's played plenty of games in the NFL. You can't get $10 million somewhere? Nobody wanted to get him. Okay, so now my thought was, if you have Jameis and you have DeVito, they're going to draft a quarterback, right? So they're going to, if this quarterback is not ready to start, you put Jameis in there, right? Jameis can get you through 6, 7, 8 games. It reminded me a lot of, and I'm not comparing Winston to Kurt Warner, but it reminded me a lot of 2004. The Giants drafted Eli Manning. They had Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner played, I want to say, 10 games or so. And then they passed it off to Eli. Like, they wanted him to sit for 8, 10 games. Eli played the rest of the season. Kurt Warner was eventually gone then, and then Eli took the team from there. I could have seen something like that. Let Jameis, Jameis has a lot of passion, right? The guy is very competitive. He makes way too many interceptions, throws way too many interceptions, I should say. But that's what my thought was, right? So I say all that as preface to say this is why I was so confused by signing Russell Wilson. So now we have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, albeit for about half the price of Daniel Jones, right? Which is ironic, right?
All of them, yes.
All 3 together are half the price of Daniel Jones. But now I have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So does that mean I'm not drafting a quarterback? Well, Russell Wilson is not the quarterback of the future. Jameis Winston is not the quarterback of the future. And Tommy DeVito is absolutely not the quarterback of the future. So now I have 3 quarterbacks who at best are decent stopgaps, at best. And I'm going to have to cut one of them before the season even begins if I draft a quarterback?
Yes.
I'm confused.
You're going to send Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito to the practice squad.
Probably.
Okay? That's where he's going to be. You guys wanted to see him in there, I guess. But I'm going to tell you this. Here's why you're confused. You look at it from a fan's perspective. What are we doing? We should get Shedeur Sanders. We should draft one of these guys. Brian Daboll's looking at this saying, I'm going to be toast if I don't get somebody in here that cannot throw 6 interceptions a game like Jameis. Okay? So I'm going to go get Russell Wilson. He's going to be a great guy for us. good guy off the field, great in the locker room with the guys. No problem, no ego like Aaron, no ego like your boy Aaron Rodgers. It's a different ego. And you just go with Russell because I got to win some games. I can't get fired here. Brian Daboll's on the hottest of hot seats.
Okay, so if they win 7 games, right, with Russell Wilson as the quarterback, and let's say they don't draft a quarterback, right? Maybe they're not sold on these quarterbacks.
They might not be.
Could be, right? That's fair. But you go out and win 7 games, even worse, 8 games, and you're telling me he's not going to get fired because they played a little bit better? I think he's getting fired.
If they win 8 and 9,
and you don't
if they go 8 and 9, I don't think he's getting fired. What do you guys expect?
Well, I think there's a much better argument to be made for him and Joe Schoen, who's the GM, if you draft a quarterback and you show signs of life, signs of progress, and they're headed in the right direction. They win a handful of games at the end of the season because the quarterback is starting to find his way, this rookie quarterback. I think you got a lot, because the last thing an owner is going to want to do if he sees that a rookie quarterback is playing well is now upset the whole organization by putting a whole new coaching staff in there.
Unless you're the Carolina Panthers, and we know how that...
Well, that owner's crazy, David Tepper.
We know how that works out. So, you didn't say whether you cried, whether you jumped for joy. You got Russell Wilson in here. This guy's going to compete. I'd like for somebody to give Russell a fair shake. He's going to compete. Did he not do well with the Steelers last year? Refresh my memory. Did he do pretty well? I think it was 6-1 until he didn't have anybody to throw it to with Pickens, a head case, and he had injuries. So 6-1 to start with the Steelers. Not bad.
Explain to me. Do you have, is there something in your house that says you are the #1 Russell Wilson fan? Are you president and founder of the fan
I just
club?
like sticking up for him because it's a false narrative from Nathaniel Hackett's mess to Sean Payton didn't give him a shot. He had 25 TDs and 4 picks, and now he goes to the Steelers. They made a mistake. The Steelers blew it. They should have brought him back.
He didn't play very well at the end of the season, Nate. Let's be fair.
A couple of games. He had some injuries, and Pickens is a mess.
Some
now
really
you're throwing
big games.
DK Metcalf and give him a shot. Now he's going to have to go to the Giants. Malik Neighbors should be happy. You should be happy to have Russell, and you're not.
I'm not happy. I can't believe it. I'm not angry about it either. He doesn't move the needle for me at all. I think first of all, I like Russell Wilson. Let me make that clear.
You like him.
I do. As a person, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a little corny, a little goofy, but I certainly liked watching him play in Seattle. And I think he still has something left in the tank. But my Giants have been in, much like your Broncos up until maybe now, when we're still not sure, but we think we're on the right track with quarterback. We've been in quarterback hell for how long?
Yeah.
Right? And
it's been a stretch here.
And now you're going to tell me the solution to that is Russell Wilson? Right?
But
Russell Wilson now is 4th team in the last 3 years.
So you would have rolled with famous Jameis, and that
I would have
mess,
drafted a quarterback, right?
And rolled with Jameis and a quarterback.
For 8-10 games until the quarterback's ready to start? Yeah, I absolutely would have done that.
You guys would have destroyed. If you picked up Shedeur Sanders here next month, you guys would have went crazy. You would have thought, we're going to go with Shedeur Sanders? I mean, you guys would have been just terrible. And then you might have gotten Dion if you would have played it right, fired Daboll, pick up Shedeur, and bring in Dion the next year.
Can you imagine Dion in New York City? I mean, gosh, that would be a massive story.
It's the first smile I've got from Rob. He actually wants to see that instead of Russell Wilson winning you 10 games next year. How about that instead?
You think the Giants are going to win? You know what the over-under? It's the over-under, so... Over-under wins totals. I should be clear on that. Not over-under of a game, but the over-under wins totals.
Probably it's 6.
It was 3.5 before they signed Russell Wilson. It's now 4.5. Okay? So you and your Russell Wilson fans, you got us a whole extra win. And we're not going to draft a quarterback now, and so we're just going to stink for the next 5 years again.
That's very interesting.
4.5.
I thought you'd actually come in here. Now, let's one more chance here for you to be real. If they would have done your boy Aaron Rodgers, you would have been happy then.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You would have been happy.
Absolutely.
With that old Aaron Rodgers and a head case, he in New York City.
I love him.
That would have been a mess.
I'm a fanboy. There's no doubt about it. I love Aaron Rodgers, and I think Malik Neighbors, and you have a good running back there. You have a good defensive front. If Rodgers is healthy, that's a 10-win team. That's possibly a 10-win team.
My goodness, we've just done a We've just done a full 180 here. We went from Russell Wilson's not going to do anything for us. We should have rolled with Tommy Cutlets. To I would have loved Aaron Rodgers, and we would have been in the mix with Washington and Philly. They were in the NFC Championship. You got an uphill climb. I hate to tell you.
We absolutely have an uphill climb, but you and I have to admit we both have blind spots. You have one for Russ, and I have one for Rodgers.
I'm cheering for Russ. I'm going to be a bigger fan than Rob Kagron of the New York Giants. You've never thought you'd see that on the Nate Brown Show. By the way, let's go Vikings next. I do want to get the perspective. Are the Vikings making a mistake? I think one thing. We'll see what Rob says next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com and start gliding again.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
This is the Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to the Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Thursday edition. It's happy hour this hour. Brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's premier sports bar. It's a great place to watch the games, get some Firehouse brews, some great food. Right above the Firehouse, Main Street, Rapid City. Rob Kagron's live in studio. Glad to have him back on this Thursday. It's busy time right now. We got some listener reaction to Rob Kagron's New York Giants picking up Russell Wilson. And a lot of these listeners sound like you're being disrespectful to Russell Wilson. They sound like you're being disrespectful. Here's one that just came in. When the Giants start winning, I'll bet Rob will jump quickly onto the Russell bandwagon.
I want to make this abundantly clear. I'm not against Russell Wilson. It's just I don't think he's the future, right? You cannot win in the NFL if you don't draft a quarterback. That's the only way to win. Russell Wilson is not winning a Super Bowl with the New York Giants.
Well, that's because the rest of the team's not very good. I mean, let's give him a little credit.
Defense is okay. I mean, gosh. I think Malik Neighbors, who probably is, definitely was the best receiver drafted last year. I'm not saying they're good, but gosh.
Here's another one for you. He'd rather have Karen Rodgers. That's a good one.
I will say, the fans of this show are very loyal to you. They love you.
I don't know about that.
Because they love Russell Wilson like you love him, and they hate Aaron Rodgers. And you don't like Aaron Rodgers.
You got a lot of Vikings fans. You understand.
The
a lot of Vikings
almost
fans
signed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
what are you
but
talking
they didn't
about?
want to do it. They didn't want to do it. I couldn't believe it. I said the Vikings should, and that's where I want to go next. I was fair on this, objectively looking at the Vikings, saying, you're going to spend $300 million here in the offseason. You're adding the O-line, the defense. You're putting the pieces in place. You got some good opportunities here. You got to go Aaron Rodgers. He wants to be on your team. Kevin O'Connell's talking to him. Can you imagine what Kevin O'Connell would do with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and the weapons there? This is the Super Bowl run. You guys want a Super Bowl. You need Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings fans told me no heavily, and I think it's a mistake.
I generally agree with you that it's a mistake because you weren't going to have Rodgers there for longer than probably a year. And I would never sign a quarterback who might have 2 or 3 good years left in them when you have a rookie, right? And obviously McCarthy's a little different story because he got hurt in preseason. He didn't play any games last year. They're not 100% sure he's going to be healthy going into the next season. So I wouldn't sign someone 2 or 3 years, but let's be realistic with Rodgers. It's a year-by-year basis at best.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
And so if you got 1 year out of him and McCarthy gets another year under his belt of learning, of obviously taking some snaps in practice this time as opposed to this last year where he didn't get to do that, I think that's a better formula for success. Now, that being said, I've said on this program many times, if you're going to go draft a quarterback in the first round, you better let him play. And so I don't have a massive issue with surrounding him with real talent, spending hundreds of millions of dollars in free agency to try to build up that team. Well, let's set the kid up for success, right? He already has enough things going against him. Let's give him a chance to win right out of the gate. I'm not a believer in J.J. McCarthy. I wasn't at Michigan. I wasn't in the draft.
He's a winner.
They certainly are. Yeah, but what did you see when he played at Michigan that said starting quarterback in the NFL? I didn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm not sitting watching film all day long. Kevin O'Connell is a very bright offensive guy in the NFL. If he sees something he likes, it's kind of, I would equate it similar to Peyton with Knicks. Peyton saw something in Knicks that he thought he could work with.
Yeah.
Seems like he's found something that he can work with. If you have that much confidence to draft the quarterback, let him play.
Yeah, but the deal is you got Justin Jefferson, you got these weapons. Can you believe Aaron Rodgers throwing it to Jefferson and tossing it around? These guys he has Aaron Jones in the backfield, his old teammate. I mean, this is the chance, the Vikings window. It's now. It's not going to be forever. JJ will come back. You can have JJ there, but let's roll it with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a mistake. You do too. You would have went with Aaron.
I absolutely would have. I think he sets you up for success immediately. I think you become 1 and 1A in the NFC North. I don't think the Lions are a heavy favorite against the Vikings if you put Rodgers on that team because he has weapons. You've surrounded him with an offensive line, which will keep him upright, which is what you need to do with him, right? You got to keep him healthy.
Great coach.
And you have an offensive guru who absolutely knows what he's doing. And if you can think of what he did with Darnold, who everyone on this who listens to this program knows how much I don't like Sam Darnold. Right? What he did with Sam Darnold, what would he do with Aaron Rodgers? Obviously.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be amazing. And I'm not an Aaron Rodgers. You know this. I don't like Karen Rodgers. I'm going to start using that. That's a great listener tech. I'm going to start using that. But you missed this. And so now it's J.J. McCarthy, I think, rolling it out there with J.J. Now, we could be wrong, right? We're going to come back next November. We're going to see. Yep. Let's see how J.J.'s doing. I think it's a concern. And if he's just average and the Vikings are just average, you can't make excuses. Well, he's a rookie. This is his first year. You had a chance to go Aaron Rodgers, and you missed it.
Well, I do think you'd have to temper expectation, though. What you're saying is you're signing up not for just this year. You're signing up for the next 3 years, right?
Well, I guess.
That's what you can.
You could have waited. You could have had Aaron Rodgers for just this year. This year.
And you and I would have probably done that if it were up to us. But once you make the decision to go with McCarthy, I think anything they do now, short of signing, there's no reason to go sign anyone else. You are going with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
There is no. If you're not going to sign Aaron Rodgers, who are you going to sign?
You know who they're going to bring in for a backup? Here's my guess. Joe Flacco.
Who's not horrendous as a backup quarterback?
That's my guess. The hat rack. Joe Flacco back there. He doesn't move, but he's a hat rack, and that's going to be the backup to JJ.
And you might be right, because you can't sign someone who's going to threaten McCarthy's spot, right? McCarthy needs a little bit of wiggle room around him now.
But if he gets hurt or whatever, you need somebody that can kind of play.
Yep.
That's my guess, Joe Flacco. By the way, let's see here. Listener text, what about Rusty Wilson? We got all the nicknames coming in. Is that a nice term for Russ Wilson?
I don't think so. I think Rusty that means he's Wilson. A little long in the tooth as well.
Okay, let's go to this. Sweet 16 tonight. Rob Kagron in studio. It's happy hour. Brought to you by the Skybox on the Nate Brown Show. Rapid City's best sports bar downtown, right above the Firehouse. So Sweet 16 this week. There's no low seeds left. This is the first time since 2007, so 18 years of no low seeds, 12 and lower, the mid-majors that make a run to the Sweet 16. So it's the big boys. I love great basketball, one of my favorite sports. It might be up there. I mean, I'm NFL and college football, but basketball is cream of the crop. I love great matchups like tonight, Duke and Arizona. I love the big-time matchups. What do you think about Sweet 16 basketball, Rob Kagron, as opposed to opening weekend? You saw Colorado State win. Drake won one time. We didn't have a bunch of upsets. Which weekend of college basketball is better for you?
For me, it's the first weekend, and it's not even close.
Even this tournament, there wasn't a lot of shakeup.
Agreed. In this particular iteration of the NCAA tournament, no, I think this upcoming next 4 days will turn out to be better. But generally, the sheer volume of the games, the idea of a Cinderella, the idea of playing these games, having a 13 or a 14 or, as we've seen now twice, a 16 seed pull off an amazing upset, that to me gets me into the tournament more. Plus the volume of having 16 games on Thursday and Friday, being able to turn the television on, and this is one thing I've talked about before too, what I love living in the Mountain Time Zone, 10 a.m. on Thursday and Friday morning. I am ready to watch basketball, right?
And then it goes all day, and then you're done by 10 p.m.?
Yeah.
You're good?
10:30 at the latest. I mean, in growing up in New York City, the games don't start until after 12. They don't finish until near 1 o'clock in the morning. I love the volume of the games. The way that they've changed it over the past few years on Saturday and Sunday, I don't love as much as they used to. It used to be way more compact, those 8 games on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Used to start, probably Mountain Time, they would have started around 11 o'clock and would have finished at 7:30 or so. Now it doesn't. I mean, they spread them out particularly late in the day. I don't love that. But having half of the tournament games in 4 days, I can't get enough of that. And the fact is, once we get to Saturday and Sunday, you only have 2 games apiece.
Yeah, I know. The quality of basketball, though, to me, is great.
Much better.
The quality of basketball is great. Arizona, Duke tonight. Maryland, Florida right now. Alabama, BYU right now. One thing, can we... I don't love the games going... I mean, I guess it's the only thing they can do. They got the games going at the same time. I'd like to stagger a little. Can we stagger it a little bit?
They're staggered by about 25, 30 minutes. But yeah, I mean, what time are they going to start the games if they're kind of stuck with 4 games? How do you play 4 consecutive games that each take about 2 hours and 20 minutes?
You want it prime time, so we're going to have prime time tonight. I love the Sweet 16, but opening weekend, I'm still with you. Opening weekend, you can't get any better because you're just wondering where the upsets are. So not a lot of upsets. Does that hurt you?
Oh,
not a lot of upsets.
A ton. I think
you want upsets in the first weekend.
Absolutely. You want to root for these underdogs. You want to see them shoot their minds out. You want to see them muddy up the games. And
you want to see Colorado State tonight instead of Maryland against Florida? You want to see Colorado State against Florida tonight?
Well, what I would say is we've seen enough of Cinderella kind of upset stories that make it pretty far that I think it's interesting. I mean, a team like George Mason made a Final Four.
I know. Butler,
right?
national championship game.
Yeah,
Butler.
Yeah, I don't want 16 seeds in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
But live 12 seeds and 13 seeds and 11 seeds that have a real chance, yes, I absolutely do.
The key is 1 or 2.
That's it. Absolutely.
Just 1 or 2. So Colorado State tonight, if they were playing Florida, I think you'd think, let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
and then it'd be over at halftime.
And that's where it becomes a huge bummer when the game is and you have nothing to watch in the second half.
That's the problem. That's why I like quality basketball. Sweet 16, you're going to get it. Look out for my Dukies. You going for the Dukies? You like Duke? Is that your pick?
I'm not anti. I've never been an anti-Duke guy. I generally am favorable towards Duke. I think they're going to win tonight for sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd lay the 9.5, but. To win the tournament, I think Florida's going to win the tournament. I think Florida's scare was against UConn.
Oh boy,
their scare was against UConn. And who are they going to have? Think about this: they're going to play. They're going to beat Maryland right now, and then because my Johnny's lost, right? They're going to have to play either Texas Tech or Arkansas. They're going to get to the Final Four, Nate. Florida's going to get to the Final Four, and that's when their tournament begins.
I had Florida to the Final Four, and Auburn will beat them.
I don't think so. I do not trust Auburn right now at all. Florida
was almost bounced last weekend by UConn. Your boy, Dan Hurley.
Yeah, I love Dan Hurley. I love how cocky he is.
I bet. He's loud like you sometimes. But, okay, we're back with this. One more hitter. Opening day. Rob Kagron said it's one of his great things in spring. Next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com and start gliding again.
Looking for a new sport utility? Looking for one that's easy on the gas bill? We have them at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet. Over 50 to choose from, most with the exclusive Danny Mantle discount, including 23 all-new 2025 Equinoxes, plus Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban, Trailblazer, and Trax. Finance terms to fit every budget. Rates as low as 2.9% APR. See us at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMantleRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Length of finance contract is limited on select models with qualified credit. Expires 3/31/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 52. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. A blend of clouds and sun. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 74. Cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow night, chance for rain becoming mixed precipitation. Lows level off around 35. About an inch of snow Saturday through Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 72 degrees.
Experience the best selection and lowest prices in town at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Save big on Black Box wine, 3 liters for $17.49. Or get $3 off 19 Crimes wine, now just $8.99. The popular High Noon ready-to-drink 4-packs reduced to only $9.99. Or stock up on 750s of Malibu rum, now $15.99. Remember, you can enjoy a delicious tap beer while you shop at the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is on Thursday Happy Hour, presented by the Skybox, downtown Rapid City. Rob Kagron live in studio. It's one of our favorite days of the week. Opening day. Major League Baseball opening day. This is a fun time. Now, Rob, you put this as one of your top spring sports events when we did our list a couple of weeks ago. One of the top spring sports events. It didn't make my list. The sense of urgency, it's not there. I don't know if the Cubs, they got 160 games left. They already got hosed by playing the Dodgers twice. Anyway, way earlier than everybody. But nonetheless, opening day today, and you love it. And I'm looking at this season going, the Dodgers, speaking of the Dodgers, everybody's saying they're the team to beat. You're a Giants baseball fan. It's a long story, everybody. But San Francisco Giants, Dodgers are the team to beat. Is that a good storyline when you have a Dodgers team that's like guaranteed the postseason?
No, it's a terrible storyline. It's bad for baseball. The fact that they go and sign every single guy that is available to them, and that there's no apparatus in place in baseball to level the playing field a bit. It's never going to be like football, so it's a hard comparison. Football only plays once a week. So you don't have to worry about regional games and things like that.
But the Chiefs are a good storyline for the NFL. The Chiefs are a good storyline. Why aren't the Dodgers?
Because the other teams don't even have a chance, right? Over the course of 162, you're not going to win more than the Dodgers. Now, you might beat them in the playoffs. That's to me the beauty of baseball is once you get to that postseason, there is no guarantee that they're going to win any of those series, right? Like they were on the ropes a little bit last year, right? It's not a guarantee that they win. To me, the problem is they're so stacked with a team. The fact of the matter is, like, their win total was projected at like 104.5, right? The next closest team in the Major League Baseball is the Phillies at 92. Right? That's 12 games difference between number one and number two. That is utter dominance in baseball.
Have we seen an over 100 games?
Not in quite a long time.
You wouldn't think so.
Some of those Yankee teams, maybe, in the late 90s or something like that, early 2000s. But no, absolutely not. 100 wins is a massive season in baseball, and you're saying they're going to win 105.
Yeah, right. Allowing betting on that.
I don't think it's good for baseball. I really don't. I think having something that's such a fait accompli is, you need a little suspense going in. Are they a heavy favorite? Sure. Do we absolutely know they're going to win the NL West? Yeah, they're probably going to win the NL West. It'd be a shock if they didn't win the NL West.
But you're a Giants fan, so that's your perspective. I want a team. I'm interested now. I'm interested in the Dodgers. I want to see them lose, maybe, even though they're not the evil empire like the Yankees. Yeah. I want to see them lose.
But they're becoming the evil empire. Let's be fair. They're spending more money, like hundreds of millions more than any other team.
So that storyline, to me, is okay. Major League Baseball needs some storyline. Dodgers seem to be the team to beat as we start the season today. Rob Kagron in studio. Thursday, happy hour in the books. Always great. We're back with more next week. I'll tell you, it's a fun time of year. March Madness cranking up. Go Dukies tonight. Rob Kagron, remember, He doesn't love Russell Wilson as his quarterback. Remember from tonight. The Nate Brown Show podcast getting ready to go up right now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
I started doing